So today I wanted to ask Charlie a few questions. I wanted to ask him if there were 5 foods in particular that you don't want to eat. 5 foods that are just not good for you. If you could think of those or if you know them.
Yeah, the five worst foods I would not want to put in my body, and I would think others wouldn't want to put in their body either. So the number one that came to mind was vegetable oil. And vegetable oil, this is canola oil, cornseed oil, grapeseed oil. It's really, really detrimental to your health, and it's got a lot of trans fats in it.
Okay.
And trans fats are full of free radicals. And these are highly energized electrons that cause a lot of problems in the body. And they're pretty much related to every disease, free radicals. And that's where antioxidants comes in to neutralize these free radicals. But vegetable oil is literally full of free radicals. So you're literally putting free radicals into your body when, if you want to be healthy, you want to be doing everything possible to minimize free radicals. We already have enough from our environment and stress and things. Whereas if you're literally eating vegetable oil, it's causing a lot more damage. And if you cook vegetable oil, it even has a worse effect on the body. So it even charges these free radicals or electrons more rapidly, so they cause more damage inside the body. And I actually read a study the other day that if you have cooked vegetable oil, because when you have fatty foods, your blood vessels, they slightly dilate and the body produces nitric oxide. But when you have vegetable oil, it actually suppresses this natural effect or natural event, and therefore your blood vessels don't dilate, and it can actually cause heart attacks. So a lot of heart attacks actually happen when people have vegetable oil beforehand. So that was an interesting thing I found.
So if vegetable oils are out of the question, because I actually think most people probably thought these were healthy, especially maybe the generation above us. Could you name like...
Sounds healthy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a trick.
Yeah.
Knowing what you said though, I'd like to know if you could just share 1 or 2 oils that are good to cook with or better.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best substance to cook with is ghee. That's clarified butter, and the Indians, it's been around for centuries and they use it all the time.
Yeah. And
actually someone who I was working with, a client, his father, who is 80 or something, the client said his father's so healthy and he's incredibly healthy, and the client I was working with was not healthy at all. And I mentioned ghee, and he said, wow, my father actually has half a cup of ghee every single day. And he said he's like glowing with health, and he's 80, and this other guy was, who I was working with was 45 or something, and he had all these issues.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. But ghee is definitely the number one. The next one is butter, grass-fed, natural, organic cow's butter. And then if you want to go for oils, just make sure they don't start smoking, because when you smoke them, they flip. But the best option for oils, I would say, would be avocado oil and coconut oil.
Yeah.
And olive oil is good just to drizzle over like dressings and salads, but I wouldn't cook with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we've got that, what would you say is the second?
Number 2, briefly, is fried foods.
Yeah.
Obviously, we just talked about that. When you're frying something, it's 99.9% of the time it's vegetable oil because it's the cheapest. So people just have these tubs of vegetable oil, and they actually just refry up to a week sometimes. So by the time you're having fried food, you could be having like 100 times or 1,000 times this oil, and these wild electrons and these free radicals are just getting more charge, and by the time you have it, just notice, if you become more subtle inside your body, you'll notice you won't feel good, you'll get angry or depressed, you'll get a headache, you'll get sickness in your stomach and digestion. But unfortunately, a lot of people feel like that all the time, so when they have this, it doesn't really change. But if you're more subtle, as soon as you have fried food, something or another, negatively happens within the body. So whether it's worth that, that's for people
Yeah.
to decide.
That's interesting, especially what you said about maybe people don't notice because they have things all the time. But I don't have fried food very often at all. I've never really liked it. And I think last week we had like a spring roll or something. And I had a headache. I had a headache for the next day actually. So that goes to show maybe if you try not having it and try it again, you might feel something.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That would be it.
Cool. So, super interesting. I'm fascinated. But what is the third one?
Third one is processed foods.
Okay.
Very, very obvious. I don't need to go into much detail, but they're full of refined sugar. They're man-made. They don't come from nature. So pretty much any time you go into a supermarket, 95% of the foods are processed foods. They're in the aisles. So if you just stay outside the aisles and go to the fruit and vegetable section, if you have meat, go to the meat section. But as soon as you go into the aisles, all processed food, and it's not really increasing your health or vitality in any way. So stay out of the aisles. Aisle 1 to 11, keep clear. So that's number 3.
Number 4?
Number 4.
Pretty obvious, yeah.
Yep, number 4 is milk. This is pasteurized milk, just the standard milk you get from the supermarket. It's not milk that's the problem. We've got nothing against cows. It's the quality. So the milk that people were having 50 years ago, delivered by the milkman every morning, is black and white compared to what people are getting now. The milk now is full of antibiotics. It's cooked, so it's pasteurized. Therefore, the body can't digest it and assimilate it, and all the enzymes have been cooked out of it. It just isn't recognized by the body, unfortunately, and it causes a lot of mucus. So if you've always got colds, blocked nose, runny nose, coughing, and you're having milk, there is a 100% direct correlation between that.
Yeah.
And if you stop milk, the mucus will 50% probably reduce within a week.
Yeah, I think it's for most people, isn't it, when they take out milk?
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah.
So you can get good quality dairy products. Unfortunately, raw milk is illegal, but there's...
In some places.
Yes.
If you're watching this video in America, West Coast is a bit more open to it.
Yeah, and 30 years ago, that's all everyone was having, raw milk. So it's illegal now, but goat's milk is a better option, more easily digested by the body. I think the fat and the protein molecules are actually smaller, so they're more easily assimilated. Mm-hmm. So goat's milk is another option. So yeah, that's number 4.
Okay.
Milk.
And which one is our lucky number 5?
Staying on the focus, staying on the train of vegetable oil and processed foods and all these things. Margarine comes in at number 5. I think most people know that margarine's pretty horrible by now. 10 years ago, everyone was having it because it was easy to spread, and there was just a big marketing campaign around it. But margarine came about because the big businesses wanted a cheaper way to make butter, a cheaper alternative substitute, and one that would actually last longer.
Yeah.
So the chemists and the scientists went to the lab, and they were formulating some food product, and it's actually one chemical away from plastic. So, and it's full of vegetable oil, so you can re-listen to what I said about vegetable oil. You're getting all those benefits there of vegetable oil, plus pretty much having plastic. Wow. And so it's absolutely horrible for the body, unfortunately. So if you have margarine, throw it out right now, I would suggest, and just go for some grass-fed butter. Unfortunately, there's been some negative marketing around butter, but I think in the last 5 or 10 years it's very clear it's coming back, and people are realising that it's a really healthy alternative to margarine, and actually not even an alternative, just a healthy food that you should be including in a lot of meals. So that would be that, and something that just came in was microwaves. Anything you cook in a microwave chemically alters the food, flips it, switches it, and the body doesn't recognize it. The Russians actually created the microwave, and they were selling it to the rest of the world, but they weren't actually allowing their own people to use the microwave initially because they knew that it was so bad for health, but they were making a lot of money. So it's in pretty much every Western house at the moment, but if you can stay away from any microwaved foods, I know it makes things a bit easier for people to use microwaves, but there's other alternatives, and if it takes 5 or 10 minutes extra to heat up some food or something, that's just something that we choose to do, and
Definitely.
We recommend everyone else to do the same.
It's not easier in the long run to use a microwave because you're not really getting nutrition. But
So yeah, that's 5 foods plus the microwave that I wouldn't put in my body, and I'd recommend others to not put in their body either.
seems like the big highlight was vegetable oils and how they sneak into many products. So it's probably good to look at.
Pretty much 99% of processed foods would have vegetable oil, unfortunately. So if you're getting headaches or digestive problems, vegetable oil is definitely a first step to cut out.
Cool.
Yeah,
That was super interesting.
awesome. Thank you.